Hello everyone, Praise Good here, and welcome back to Pokemon Y, the Fairy Monotype Challenge. Last time, we upgraded our Mega Ring after finding out Callum had also done the same, basically. Now in this part, we will be heading off and collecting each and every Mega Stone that is available to us at this point in the game, which is all of them. So now my clock, I've set my clock a little bit backwards. Oops. Not there. Okay. I set my clock a little bit backwards of 8 o'clock at this point on my 3DS. So that way, excuse me. So yeah, it's backwards a little bit of that, so I can actually get access. Well, be able to tackle the one thing we have to do here in Lumio City. Oh, okay. Yes. Close to the Rogue Plaza. We'll talk more about that in a future episode, but not now. Today is Mega Stones, and only Mega Stones. That man's a real looker. Again, post-game content that I'll look into, that I'll go over later. Those of you that know of that are very familiar with Pokemon series know exactly who that was. Anyway. So now we have to go find the Stone Emporium, which I hope I went down the right avenue for. I did not. Man, that's a back alley. That's a... Sorry guys, I'm not, how you say, an explorer. Or at least a good one. See, that's the Pokemon Boutique. So we need to go back 2 areas. So here, and then through here, and then the Mega Stone, or the Stone Emporium. And I'm doing this one first because it's probably the easiest set of Mega Stones to get, but it also ties into something I mentioned earlier. This guy in the corner will sell Mega Stones for the 2 Kanto starters that you did not get. Now it'll be cheaper and cheaper. Down to at least $10,000 if you've grinded style up to just the right point. But I'm kind of lazy. Normally this was $300,000, but because I'm so stylish, he'll give it to me for $5,000. So there's Charizard. Why? I have Venusaur right already. Charizard and one other Pokemon are the only Pokemon that have 2 Mega Stones assigned to it. Charizard being, like I said, Charizard's one of them, but he also has the other one for Blastoise. Or Blastoisinite, I should say. Now that we've gotten that done, we're going to be going to very, very many places, and I'm going to just be saying what I'm going to be doing is I'll be basically making hard cuts to the place, telling you what the place is and the rough area you're going to be looking for. So this will be kind of an in and out, but you'll catch on to what's going on as we go. So with that, well, basically, first off, I'm heading over to the Reflecting Cave, which I don't remember where it is. So this will take a minute. There it is. Alright. So I'm going over to Chalor and going into the Reflecting Cave. I will see you in there and tell you roughly where I am. I think we've already seen once before, though, actually. I'll be just a moment. Alright, so down here on the 3rd basement floor, we've actually were in here once before. We found the TM for Gyro Ball, I believe. But if you keep coming this way, and we've seen it before. Now, is it the right time? Am I too early? This is the 3rd floor of the Reflecting Cave. Maybe I have to wait a minute, but I know the Mega Stone does appear here, so I'm going to keep on entering and exiting and re-entering this room until a certain shimmer shows up on the floor, so this may take me a moment. There it is. So this sparkle here, this is what you're going to be looking for while you're looking for Mega Stones. Walk up to it per se. There's the Alakazite for Mega Alakazam. Mega Alakazam gets has Trace and has an amazing 175 base special attack with 150 base speed. A glass cannon, if you will. Oop, and I ran into a Pokemon. We have indeed already seen this, but this NPC right here will give you the Gengarite to get Mega Gengar, which is currently banned in a lot of which Mega Gengar is currently banned in a lot of tournament standings, but it has Shadow Tag, which means the enemy Pokemon cannot leave the fight, and much akin to that of Mega Alakazam, has 170 base special attack and 130 base special speed, or base speed. There we go. Here in the Glittering Cave, right here in this mazy section, if I remember right, is right behind this Pokemon you can encounter here in this corner. Dang, it's not the Pokemon. I was gonna make a really clever bit here if it was, but well, I should mention right now, it is for... Alright then. It is for the Pokemon Kangaskhan, which is also found in these caves, but you'll get the Kangaskhanite. Mega Kangaskhan has Parental Bond, which means it uses the same move twice, but the second time the move is used, it does 50% of its normal damage. Mega Kangaskhan is still very viable in current competitive battling situations. Only in the X version of the game can you acquire the Pinsirite to get Mega Pinsir. It should be right up here on the left, or if not right here on the left, somewhere else within this forest, but there will be a Pinsir that you will locate, and then you confront it, and it gives you the Pinsirite. Mega Pinsir becomes a bug flying type, changing its typing, and also gets the ability Aerialite, which means any move that is normal typing actually changes to flying type when it uses. Here in Koroway Town is where the next Mega Stone is. I've actually mentioned it before about where it is because it's one of the very few remembered exactly where it's hiding. Right here in the waterfall is the Gyarados site, the one that Lysander used. Mega Gyarados becomes water dark instead of water flying and gains the ability Mold Breaker, which we also talked about, but basically negates any abilities your opponent Pokemon may have. Now this one I've already talked about, but Aerodactyl also gets a Mega Evolution. One of these scientists in here, one of the few scientists in here, this guy, will give you the Aerodactylite. You can actually get this before post-game, so sorry about that in advance. But you get the Aerodactylite, which, well, Mega Aerodactyl keeps its rock flying typing, and it also gains the ability Tough Claws, which basically if any move makes physical contact, it does 33.3% additional damage. So here in Pokemon Village, we earlier had a Pokemon over there on the left. Crap, how do I get up and around there? I forget now. Ah, here we go. So earlier, we had a person that was guarding the cave there. Alright, I have to reteach it. Surf, 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 surf. Well, sorry, Azumarill, you gotta relearn surf. Hopefully it should only be for a little while, though. But in the cave, and something that I'm actually going to touch on very lightly, but that cave has a Mega Stone in it for something that I'm not going to discuss until the next episode when we're going over legendaries in X and Y. So basically, in this cave here, there is Mewtwo. Upon successful capture or defeat a Mewtwo, you will be able to exit the cave and re-enter. And in Mewtwo's place will be the Mewtwo Knight X or the Mewtwo Knight Y, depending upon your version. Mewtwo Knight X will basically change Mewtwo into a Psychic Fighting type and give it the ability Steadfast. For Mega Mewtwo Y, it gains the ability Insomnia and keeps its Psychic typing. It's pure Psychic typing, I should say. Oh, of course this will happen now. So, I'll talk more about this in the Legendary episode. But, wait for it, there we go. So, we'll talk more about this in the Legendary episode more aptly, but basically what happens is, once post-game happens, randomly in the wild, you will encounter one of the 3 legendary birds. Again, I'm not going to talk too much upon how that works or what it does until we actually get to the legendary discussion of this. Now, I came up here to... Oh, I didn't even have to go this way. I didn't even have to go all this way. Basically, there's an area out here called Azure Bay that I avoided because it's really not needed until legendaries come into effect here. But basically what you do is you'll want to surf out, and I'm going to be doing my best to avoid trainers. If I fight a trainer on accident, I'm actually just going to straight up cut the fight. This is not where I need to be. So yeah, I will be... But here we are in Azure Bay. And there's a specific person we're going to want to talk to out here, but I'm also avoiding trainers as much as I physically can. Crap. Whoops. Well, I tried, but thankfully everybody out here is level 30 or lower, but that's the guy right there. So this old man out here, when you talk to him, will give you the Ampharocyte. For Mega Ampharos, obviously. Mega Ampharos gains Mold Breaker, and also it becomes an Electric Dragon type. Oh, good timing. In the Frost Cavern, behind Obama Snow, is the Caesarite. Mega Caesar keeps its typing, but gains Technical, which means a move that is of 60 attack power or lower is actually increased to be, well, is increased by 1.4 times or something similar to that. Also, even though it's out of order of how I'm doing it in this list, I want to remind you that if you talk to this Obama Snow after you save it in the main story, you do get Abomasnite for Mega Obama Snow. Which, it keeps its typing and gets Snow Warning, which I think it already has by default. Unfortunately, a Mega Obama Snow is kinda not good. Sorry. Back here in Santaloon Forest, you're going to be going through here looking for a... Well, keep in mind, this is only in the Y version, but you're going to be looking for a Heracross in this area. Well, in this area, it'll be an actual Pokemon. It won't be, or it'll be something you can see on the overall map. It's nothing that you have to go digging for to find. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I'll confirm with my sources if it's not, but... Oh, there it is. I went right past it. So there's the Heracronite, which gives you Mega Heracross. It keeps its typing, but it does gain the ability Skill Link, which means any moves that have a 2 to 5 times the hit ratio, like I think it's Rock Throw, Fury Swipes, things of that sort, will guarantee 5 hits instead of being a random 2 to 5 hits chance. Also, a reminder, this is only in the Y version of the game. On Route 16, where we fought these 2 skaters and I blocked them off, you'll see right here, that you can find the Houndoomite. Mega Houndoom retains its Dark Fire typing, but will gain the ability Solar Power. During sunshine, the Pokemon Houndoom's special attack stat will be raised to 1.5 times what it normally is, but they will lose 1/8 of their HP each turn. Only available in the X version. If you come here to the gym, right here, or in another similar spot around the backside of Silent City Gym on the second floor, will be that Tyranitarite. Tyranitar retains its Rock Dark typing, and will have Sandstream activate, which is the Sandstorm, which is the ability that causes Sandstorm. In Lumio City, back in Cafe Soleil, whatever. Go into basically the cafe where you first met Diantha and Lysanther. Like, Diantha will be here. Would you feel about trading one of your Pokemon? Sure. So we're gonna trade off one of our Pokemon here. Here, have here, this Pikachu. I don't care for it. But anyway, you have a trade you activate with Diantha here, in which she will give you a Ralts. Now this Ralts will be holding the Gardevoirite. Gardevoirite will keep Gardevoir. Will keep Gardevoir as its Psychic Fairy counterpart. We'll keep we'll keep Gardevoir as Psychic Fairy, but it will gain the ability Pixelate, which means any attacks it uses that have a normal typing will become Fairy typing. Back in Shabanu Castle, this one I actually tried to get at earlier, but it was denied my access to it because post-game only. Right up here is the Mawilite I've been using this whole time. Back in Silent City Gym again. In the same place where you would be able to find the Tyranitarite, in Y version you will find the Agronite. This gives you access to Mega Aggron, which I feel is kind of actually a more interesting tank-like Pokemon. Mega Aggron drops its rock typing to become pure steel, and it also gains the ability Filter. Filter basically means that any move done that is super effective damage is reduced by 25%. Back in Laver City, you will quite quickly find this Mega Stone, which is the Metachamite. Mega Metacham keeps its fighting psychic typing, but also gains pure power as its ability. On Route 16, down here where we found the Houndoomite, is where you will find the Manectric as well. Manectric keeps its electric typing, but also gains Intimidate, which is also Manectric's hidden ability, so you could effectively pull off a double Intimidate with Mega Manectric. Over here on Route 22, if you actually surf down this way, we'll be taking a little trip to an additional area of the game. Over here through all these flowers, I believe, yep, right there, is a battle. I'll be back in just a moment. Anyway, now that fight's over, in this cave here, the Chamber of Emptiness, there are two things. An item, the Spooky Plate, again for Arceus to give it Ghost typing, and in the back here, Benetite. Yeah, that's hard to say. Mega Bennett keeps its Ghost typing, and it gets the ability Prankster. That move that basically means you can, if your move does 0 damage, it has priority over whatever your opponent uses. As a reminder, in order to get Absolite, you must beat your trainer here in Killout City the first time you enter. Check back a few episodes if you don't know how to get your rival to appear here. But he will give you Absolite to give you Mega Absol. Mega Absol keeps its pure dark type, but gains Magic Bounce. And Magic Bounce is a little weird how it works. It basically means that it reflects non-attacking moves and moves that are basically, well, moves that purely inflict a status ailment on you or are meant to just hinder you in some way, like disable, confuse ray, poison powder, things of that sort. Up here in Victory Road, shortly after you make your first shortcut back down to the bottom of Victory Road, you will be able to get a... Why not you get to learn it this time? Too lazy to redo things the other ways around. I'll get rid of agility, why not? But yes, behind the wall that we're about to go in is one of the last Mega Stones that you will find out in the wild via the way I'm doing them right now. Or the way I'm doing the Mega Stones as we speak. Here you will receive the Garchompite. Now Mega Garchomp retains its Dragon ground typing, but will gain the ability Sand Force. And basically what Sand Force does is all ground, rock, and steel type moves will have their power increased by 30% in a sandstorm if you have this ability. And finally, based on how I've been doing this, the last Mega Stone that I'm able to cover is in Shaolor. This comes from the Lucario you are gifted by Katarina, I believe her name is. I've forgotten her name. The fighting gym leader. The Lucario she gives you will be holding the Lucario Knight. Which Lucario Knight, well, Mega Lucario keeps its typing of Fighting Steel and gains adaptability. Now, I specifically did not talk about three Pokemon that are event Pokemon that also have Mega Evolutions available in X and Y. That being Blaziken to Mega Blaziken, which it gets Speed Boost for its Mega ability. Nor did I talk about Mega Latias or Mega Latios. These three Pokemon are event only, and at this point, unless you're playing this game on a ROM somehow, there is no way to trigger these events. They are one-time things that happened a while ago that are no longer obtainable. But everybody, that has been how to get every single Mega Stone in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Now I hope that you'll join me next time when I will go over, well, all of the legendaries that are available within Pokemon Y and X to a lesser extent. I'll see you folks then.